At this moment, it's my delight and honor to invite on stage the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, that's ISPAC, that is Dr. Grace Kamau. Let's appreciate her as she comes to give her welcoming remarks.
I'm so glad and delighted to be here today to welcome our guests from the International Standard Setting Board. We are so glad and welcome to Kenya and Karibuni Sana.
I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the participants, delegates, speakers, and stakeholders who have joined us today in this forum on adopting International Financial Reporting Standards S1 and S2. The discussions and insights shared during this event will be invaluable in shaping our understanding of the importance of sustainability reporting and its impact on the global financial landscape.
The reason I was honored to be appointed as chair, and the reason I accepted, is because for all these, again, very promising experiences that in this country and others have taken place to make sure that economic development was also coming with the upbringing of SDGs, the decarbonation overall of supply chains. All of these experiments were hitting limits, and those limits were the absence of a language that investors could use to fully appreciate the future economic benefits, lowering risks, creating more opportunities for economics locally, because there was no language.
The last time the standards, any standards in the world, were endorsed by IOSCO, it was the IFRS accounting standards that are used in 140 countries around the world, more than 140. As the ISSB chair said, IOSCO is made up of 135 jurisdictions, countries. And so the CMA, which is a member of IOSCO, essentially represents that across the world on the stage here today. And I think what is so important is that Africa is leading. The first country to indicate their willingness to endorse these standards was an African country. And today we sit in another country that we celebrate for its leadership. And not just for its leadership, also for its collaboration and for its desire to capacity build and to use these disclosure standards to unlock capital flows. And in that context, my chairman.
You know Kenya's leadership when it comes to climate change, and our president's commitment and leadership on Africa and the climate finance, climate risk mitigations, and the inflows of capital from international markets into our Africa region and Kenya in particular. I think that is a clear manifestation of where we stand with regards to adopting these standards. First of all, let me give my commitment on behalf of the CMA that we are adopting the IFRS S1 and S2 standards. Of course, as you all know, already a lot of work has gone into this. As Chairman Emmanuel has already said, Kenya, especially in the capital markets, has already done some work with the listed companies. CBK has done some quite a bit of work, and it continues to do on the Green Fund, so there's a lot of work already ongoing. So I think just my initial remarks is thank you very much. We are ready, and already I think we have some action plans in terms of from where we sit. But again, this is a collaborative effort. I totally agree. This is a process that needs to be adopted. Sustainability, climate change is an issue for Kenya. It's an issue for Africa. We have not received our fair share of the capital required for mitigating the climate risks that we face, and it makes much sense for us to be able to achieve the desired objectives, which is good business practice.
The Professional Standards Committee of the Institute, which I chair, comprises of representatives from the top-tier professional firms and the regulators. So the steering committee that we are forming is actually sort of an extraction of that committee to just focus on this particular agenda. And we've done this very well in the past in implementing other professional standards in the market. You can think about IFRS 9, the IFRS 17, and many other complex standards that we've had to work very collaboratively with the regulators, the preparers, and other peer countries in trying to understand what's the best way of bringing these standards, what's the most harmonized way we can make sure the standards are implemented so that everybody can understand them, investors can understand, and also that they keep to the principles of the other ISSB in this case, but also the ISSB as for the other standards. This question is in the boardrooms, and I spend most of my time with clients in the boardrooms. Clients are already asking a lot of questions on what does S1, S2 mean? What do we need to be doing? What do we need to prepare? Professional firms are already thinking of how do we start accelerating knowledge within our practices to know what we'll need to do, how we'll need to guide clients. So for me, just to say that I'm very excited that we now have a proper structure in place. We're going to provide the best leadership we can to make sure that we move forward and they actually be part of the international community to support the flow of capital into our markets.
Of your plans to actually reduce your emissions, to what extent are carbon emissions used? And also, if you are using carbon credits, has that carbon credit been verified? But this also doesn't rely solely on us. We need the ecosystem to be playing their role as well. So we're working closely with ISPAC, we're working closely with the Pan-African Federation of Accountants, we're working from a global perspective with the International Federation of Accountants. But there are other professions out there who also need the time and attention as well. So we're doubling down on that implementation focus, and I love the questions which I'm getting here today. It shows that you're interacting with the standards, which is fantastic.
I need to say that I'm a dropout of an accounting school, so I'm happy to be back here because this is a day, and I remember someone who was speaking in the morning said that we didn't see coming, where sustainability practitioners, accountants would be sitting and standing in the same room to discuss very important issues on sustainability. And one of the things that has come out very strongly today is that there is need for us to collaborate and for us to work together. And it's not only about return on investment, which is the question that we fear most when the accountants come to us when we are asking the money question, but we are now working together to understand what are we doing to ensure that we are there tomorrow, and whatever we are doing is something that would be sustainable.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all understand that sustainability is actually a journey. Sustainability is not a destination.